Hey guys, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn fan, and I'm back with a bit of a different video today. So, I've never actually gotten a chance to talk about my opinions on Star Wars Skeleton Crew. So I decided that today I'm going to be doing kind of two videos in one. I'm going to be doing both a Black Series review of Jod Nawood's figure from Skeleton Crew, but I'm also going to be doing just kind of summing up what I think about the show, just saying some of my thoughts on it. So, yeah, I think I'm going to start with that. What do I think of Skeleton Crew? I think it's extremely underrated. It's just a fun little adventure show in Star Wars. It does not deserve to be the least watched Star Wars show, especially when The Acolyte. But, yeah, I think Skeleton Crew is just a fun adventure with following these kids. It's a fun show. That's what I think about it. And it's not trying to be anything bigger than it is. It's just, it knows what it is, and it does that. And it kind of has a lot of heart in that, and just, there's a lot of fun you can have if you watch Skeleton Crew. So, I'm going to be saying more opinions about the show throughout the video, but this is a Black Series review of Jod, so let's get started with that. I think they did an amazing job on this figure. This is an awesome Jod Nawood figure, and I think they've done some really creative new things on this figure that I want to talk about. For example, they kind of actually made a new leg mold for Jod of how his waist goes up around his shirt. It's kind of like how his shirt is tucked in. They made kind of a new mold for that. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that with an action figure from Black Series before. That's really cool. I like what they did there. And I really like how they just captured Jod's pirate aesthetic. Sorry, I don't know what was going on there. I really like how they did that. They did a nice job of just getting the details of his pirate outfit, and I really like what they did there. For example, you can see how underneath his coat, they got it right of how he's got like maroonish pants on. They did a good job on the boot detailing. That's really nice. And then for his coat, they made like a plastic mold that goes around the figure, and it's really nice. The only thing I will say, though, is you can't actually take his coat off because his arms are still the mold onto the body. Like, this is not part of the coat. His arms are actually maroon. So if you tried taking the coat off, it would look weird of how Jod's arms are just randomly a different color. I like how underneath the coat, they got it right of how Jod wears like that puffy pirate shirt of, I don't want to be a pirate. But yeah, I really like that, how they did that detailing there of how just like around the collar, it's got the pirate look. And the coloring is nice. And then you can even see like how it shows some of his chest there. That's really cool. He's got a neck mold, which is like where you can rotate the neck this way and this way. The neck isn't just stuck in place. That's really cool. And then you can rotate his head on top of that. And yeah, I just really like how with the coat, they even got the detailings of how it comes out around the outer sides and everything. That's really cool. On the wrist area of the coat, they got like the nice little gold detailing on there. That's really cool. His hands having gloves on, that's really cool. And Jod actually has dual molded hands for holding his blaster. He doesn't even have two blasters, and they gave him that. But when we get clones like Rex only has one hand that's meant to hold the blaster. So yeah, that's really cool for Jod, but a disadvantage for Rex. They got it right of how Jod has his belt on, and it even has like the cool little pirate logo that he has on there. Then he comes with a holster that you can put his blaster in. That's really nice. And yeah, I just think they did an amazing job on the detailings of the figure's outfit. Speaking of Jod's blaster, I'm going to start talking about his accessories. So for Jod's accessories, he comes with two things. He comes with a blaster, which I really like, because they have the aesthetic of an old pirate revolver. That is awesome. I really like how Skeleton Crew does that in the show, of where it just has these pirate versions of Star Wars things we're used to. Like, we have pirate-looking blasters. The ships are not really designed to look like that, but some of the pirates have eye patches or are missing limbs. That's just really cool aesthetic and world building. And so, yeah, I really like his blaster. It's got the old-fashioned revolver look, and it even has like a nice way of how it fits into his hand better than a normal blaster does. And you can actually have his finger on the trigger. That's really cool. And it can fit in both hands. It's got like a little nice gold detailing there. And then his holster holds the blaster perfectly. This is an amazing job. Most holsters just have the blaster fit in. This goes right in and stays in place. That's amazing. Now, Jawd's other accessory is the one I'm a lot less enthusiastic about because it's just a hood. And the issue is, Jawd only really wears this hood when he's trying not to be seen as himself, which is well, that does happen in the show a couple times. It's not a very common thing of if you want to display the figure. And what I mean by that is, if you look at his outfit on the picture he has on his box, he mostly just wears the hood around his neck as kind of like a scarf. But since you only get the one version of it, you kind of miss out on the hood, like the scarf look going on. So if you want to put it on him, all you have is the hood. And I do actually like the hood. I think it fits onto his head really nice, and it does a good job of doing what it's supposed to. It's got like the scarf underneath. It's just, I kind of wish we got also just the scarf version as a hood. That would have been cool. But when it comes to Jawd's accessories, I kind of have something major to talk about. It's the lightsaber. I mean, I get that Star Wars with action figures, they don't always give them all the details, but I feel like this was more of they didn't want to spoil the fact that Jawd's going to get a lightsaber. The thing is, though, is that before the show even came out, they said Jawd is a Jedi. So, like, I don't know. I feel like they could have given him the lightsaber and just held the figure back, like, maybe a few months so that it didn't give away the reveal. I feel like that would have been really cool. But I get it. The big thing is, though, is that we're just never going to get his lightsaber because Skeleton Crew didn't do so well. And so now, yeah, you can't get a lightsaber for your figure. The other accessory that I really wish Jawd had come with is his helmet. I actually really like his helmet. I don't know what it is about his helmet, but it just kind of reminds me of Soundwave from Transformers Prime, if that makes any sense. I know that's just a very weird comparison, but I feel like it's accurate. So, yeah, I feel like Jawd, this figure is just missing out by not giving him his helmet or his lightsaber. And speaking of the fact that Jawd is a Jedi, a really cool thing I thought when I was watching Skeleton Crew is, like, when I got to the early episodes of how we're seeing Jawd using the Force, I'm thinking, I don't think he's actually a Jedi. I think he's someone who's like Ezra, of that he's just really skilled with the Force. So I thought originally that this is what Ezra would have been like if he didn't have Kanan around to set him on the right path. But as the show goes on, we find out that Jawd is not like Ezra without Kanan. Jawd is what Kanan would have been like if Kanan had turned to a life of crime in order to survive, which is really cool. Jude Law gives an amazing performance as Jawd. He's kind of the character that makes the whole show work. It is his show, and he's not even the main character. Wim and the other kids are. But, like, when you talk about Skeleton Crew, you're not going to say, oh yeah, this kid is in it. No, you're going to say Jude Law is in it. And he's one of the best characters in the show, but my favorite character is the GOAT SM-33. That guy is one of the best droids we've gotten in Star Wars. I just love SM-33. He's awesome. He's just a really funny pirate droid who's awesome. So, yeah. Speaking of Jude Law, I never talked about the face. That's because I was saving it for here. They did an amazing job on capturing the photoreal tech look of Jawd's face. Just looking at it, it looks amazing. You can tell that this is a Jude Law action figure. It's got bits of stubble that show, and it looks really nice, because in the past they have struggled with beards when they first started doing the photoreal tech. You can just see like all the face detailing that this has on it, like eyebrows, a nose, ears. It's all really good and it's there. And then his hair looks really good too, of how they captured Jawd's haircut that he has in the show. And even on the back of his head, he has good hair detailing. So, yeah, I really like the figure. It has some great posability. Jawd isn't really someone who's going to be athletic, but I don't know, the figure has great posability, and you can just put him in nice poses, like when he's running away or just holding his blaster. It all looks nice. Here's something I want to point out though. If you bend this leg, you cannot actually pull the blaster out, and it will bend it. So, like, the blaster will bend and possibly break. So if you're gonna do that, make sure you have the leg down and normal. But yeah, I really like this figure. So now I'm gonna talk about his box. Don't you love it when they put the stickers right there? So for the picture, I actually really like the picture they went with. This kind of just captures Jawd's character of how he's just got that smirk on him, and that really sums up his character, kind of. So yeah, I really like the picture. Skeleton Crew, I like the fact that they used yellow. And I know I've said in the past that they overused the same colors, but I think yellow actually fits here. On the back, same image, but bigger. I really like that. And yeah, Jawd is number 1 of Skeleton Crew's figures, which makes sense. Like I said, he's the character of the show. And yeah, I just like how it's got Jawd Nawood on here. But even though I like these boxes of how they're like the wall art ones and they're actually all squared off, so it's easier to collect them and store them in a displayable way, I think that Skeleton Crew could have done something really creative and unique with the boxes for its figures. Because we already have credit collection boxes of where you get these new boxes, they come with this cool design, you get the figure, and then you also get a Star Wars credit. If there was ever a Star Wars property to do a credit collection style of boxes for, it should be the show. That's one of the big things about this show is it involves and revolves around Star Wars money. It answers the question of where does all the money come from in Star Wars, which is something I never thought I'd want the answer to. So yeah, I just think they kind of missed out by not doing something really unique with the credit collection and infusing that into Skeleton Crew. But I think that's fine. For my final thoughts on the figure, I really like this Jawd figure. It captures his whole pirate look. I know I said that, but if you think about it, like Star Wars Skeleton Crew, I really like how it fleshes out the pirates in the Star Wars world. They've always just been there, and we've had characters like Hondo, but pirates have always just kind of been in the background. We never learn anything about them. You accept there's pirates in Star Wars. But with Skeleton Crew, we actually learn about like the pirate code. We learn about their clans and guilds, and well, not guilds, but there are just groups of pirates. They have hangouts, coverts, whatever. And Jawd is kind of the skeleton, like the Star Wars equivalent of Long John Silver, if you know what I mean, because his name is Jawd, John Jawd. He's a pirate captain who bonds with kids that could lead him to a treasure planet. Not an island in the book, but like a planet full of money. So he's going to a place and he's slowly bonding with these kids. But if that doesn't convince you, his pirate name is Captain Silvo. Long John Silver, Jawd Nawood, or Captain Silvo. Also, I really like the joke of how everywhere Jawd goes, it's like he goes by a different name when he runs into people. That's really cool. But yeah, I've spent enough time talking about this. If you haven't watched Skeleton Crew in a while, go give it a rewatch. It's a really good show. I think this is an amazing Jawd Nawood figure. It's probably the best one we're ever going to get. Although I do wish we one day could get one that has the helmet and the lightsaber, just to kind of complete it. But yeah, I think they did an amazing job on this Jawd figure. With all the issues I've said, I still think this is a 10 out of 10 figure because, well, it really does encapture all of Jawd. Just everything I said is more they could have done. So, yeah, I think they did a great job on this figure. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. If you want one, I recommend you pick one up. But yeah, this is Grand Admiral Thrawn fans signing off, and I look forward to our next encounter in my next video. But by the way, one last thing. I think Jawd's speech that he gives to rally up all the pirates, that speech is amazing. It just starts out of him saying stuff like, "I'm hungry," and just normal things. But then when he builds up to the, "We're all hungry," and he's rallying all of his crew. That is one of the best speeches we've gotten in all of Star Wars. So yeah, I really like Jawed as a character. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think Skeleton Crew needs a season 2, but I don't think it deserves to be the least watched show. So anyway, this is Grand Admiral Thrawn fan signing off, and go spend your hard-earned credits on a Skeleton Crew figure. See you in the next video.